Welcome, everyone. My name's Frank Kunze, and Laura Dollar-Hyde will be joining me in discussing one of the biggest scientific breakthroughs of our lifetime today. Laura has been a holistic healthcare practitioner for more than 40 years. She's helped thousands of people who wanted to optimize their health, especially during the aging process. This information can be life-changing for not only you, but for all those you care about. Univera stands for One Truth. You'll learn why Univera is a different kind of company with a different kind of vision. Univera has a different approach to health and wellness. So basically, they're applying pharmaceutical science to natural products. The body is made to assimilate plants, and as a result, it's able to give the proper nutrients to our body. We'll be covering the whole story of why and how Univera started and explain the genomic science that was used to create incredible products that can reset our metabolism back 10 and even 20 years. So let's get started with the story. It truly is incredible, and show you why. It's just an incredible company here. You're going to see here on the bottom left that bronze bust. That's Yun-Ho Lee. He basically, back in the mid-'80s, he's a very, very successful industrialist in South Korea. He got very ill back in that time, and someone introduced him to the aloe vera plant, and he got better. And he was so moved by that product that he decided to go ahead and create a mission for his entire life from that point on and leave a legacy of helping humankind. And as a result, he basically knew that if that one product had helped him the way it did, that there had to be other medicinal plants that have been used all over the world for centuries, helping different societies. So what he did was he set out on that mission. He's since passed away. The gentleman you see there in the center is Bill Lee. That's his son, who's taken over his father's legacy and mission, and now it's become his. A culture of service. This company, once again, is very unique in that it really cares about humankind. And as a result, they set up a foundation called Serve First. That foundation to date has helped almost 4 million children around the world with nutritional needs. So once again, you can see why, it really is a different kind of company. Laura, if you could jump in here and tell us a little bit about the history of the company and what makes it so unique.
Well, thank you, Frank. My pleasure, because Bill Lee, this amazing owner of Univera, owns not only Univera, but all of Univera's global resources, which are Unigen, which is Univera's science engine. Unigen is a pharmaceutical company, as you said, Frank, using plants. Unigen houses 2 genomic laboratories, one in Lacey, Washington, one in South Korea, which are doing round-the-clock research with 50 scientists. Unigen owns and uses the world's largest medicinal plant library, and these scientists are discovering how compounds in plants can upregulate the repairability of each human cell at the DNA level, proven through the genomic capabilities. AlloCore is the oldest corporation owned by Bill Lee, and was actually started by Bill's father, Yun-Ho Lee, over 30 years ago. Today, AlloCore has over 10,000 cultivated fields and agriculture, growing over 40% of the world's aloe. AlloCore has created the International Aloe Science Council, by which all other aloe products are measured. AlloCore has more science and more patents on aloe than anyone in the world. This is the result of the amazing, wonderful results that Yun-Ho Lee received from aloe, and he combined science. AlloCore now holds land in Vladivostok, Russia, a botanical reserve, and also in China, Mexico, and the USA. And NatureTech is the manufacturing division of Bill Lee's corporate holdings. All have one purpose, which is to bring the best of nature and science to humankind. So to fulfill this part of Yun-Ho Lee's vision and mission, NatureTech is the manufacturing division voluntarily complying with the FDA to manufacture what we have come to find are complex nutraceutical formulas to the same standards that FDA-controlled pharmaceutical companies are required to comply with. NatureTech does this voluntarily. What does that mean for you? It ensures a quality control that is unprecedented in the industry. This means you receive not only a 2% gradient efficacy factor, which is what pharmaceuticals have, but a quality control that is unprecedented in the natural products industry. Now, Frank, why don't you talk to us about why Univera? Why, these are all of Univera's global resources, but talk to us and please explain how the Univera business works and why.
Well, the thing that sold me on this company, Laura, was the fact that it never started as a typical company for profit. It started because they really had a mission to go ahead and help people, with their health. And Univera realized that once they got to the point where they did with the manufacturing, the research, and the growing of all the plants and things like that, they realized you couldn't put it on a shelf somewhere. There's no way it could jump off the shelf and say what kind of science it had, and why you needed to consider it. So what happened was they went ahead and set it up under a relationship marketing where people could tell other people, share with them the results that they got. So the whole concept is to go ahead and use the products, see what benefit it has for you, and then share it with other people. So it just made sense, and that's the best way to explain. That's why we don't have meetings anywhere. Everything's done here on the web, so everybody gets the right information. One of the biggest problems that I saw when I got involved, because, over the years I was really concerned about my health, and I had checked into a lot of things and took a lot of vitamins and things like that, that when I really realized what this science was, I really got it. The major problem that I see is the fact that people just aren't getting the nutrients that they need from the food supply. And there's a lot of information that will support that. I don't know if you realized or not, we don't have a cord attached to us, so and when we want energy, it comes from, whatever nutrition we can get from our food supply. And that made sense to me. I knew of certain things that had happened over the last couple generations here, but in 1992, there was an Earth Summit in Brazil that had to do with soil depletion. The United States was the worst developed country in the world at that point. It was already 85% depleted. Just an example of that was that potassium levels in oats had dropped in just a 10-year period to where instead of having one bowl, you needed to have 2 or 3 bowls to be equivalent to what it was back then. At the turn of the century, you had 1 person in 20 had cancer. Today, 1 in 3 will get it in their lifetime, and 1 in 4 will die from it. But serious health problems are growing in the United States at an alarming rate. Children are being tested at earlier and earlier ages. You have 11-year-olds being tested for high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, heart disease. I even saw a commercial on TV here about a month ago. It had to do with autism. It said it was up 1,000% in just the last few years. I mean, that's incredible. So you put on top of what people are really not getting from the food supply, and you throw on top of that air pollution, water pollution, things like that, the body needs incredible help. And that's why Univera, to me, is one of the biggest scientific breakthroughs of our lifetime. The fact that they now realize that you can now go to plants and get the nutrition that the body needs, especially during the aging process. So to me, it was just a no-brainer to check out Univera. I know here that you've been involved with Univera for quite a few years. And Laura, can you tell us about Stephen Chernesky? He's the Chief Science Officer for Univera. And I know you've known him now for at least 15 years.
Absolutely. Thanks, Frank. Well, to go along with your slide, Einstein says intelligence is needed to fix a problem, but to prevent a problem takes genius. Stephen Chernesky is that genius. Stephen is the Chief Science Officer of Univera, and he is the architect of Univera's product line. Stephen has been a nutritional biochemist and health educator. Stephen is the best-selling author of several books on aging and health, including The Metabolic Makeover, Metabolic Plan, Caffeine Blues, and the DHEA Breakthrough, which have collectively all sold more than 1 million copies. Stephen has consulted for members of the U.S. Olympic team. He's served on the faculty of the American College of Sports Medicine. He's taught clinical nutrition at the UCLA Department of Continuing Education in Health Science. and has directed the nation's first federally licensed clinical laboratory specializing in nutrition and immunology, which is Unigen. He has appeared in numerous magazines, including Time, U.S. News, and World Report, Oprah, and Self. Now, a couple of quotes that Stephen has in the metabolic plan. Stephen says, because the problem is aging. Not our expanding waistlines, not our high cholesterol, our high blood pressure, or failing memories. These are just the symptoms. Aging is the problem, and until we begin to deal with the underlying causes of aging, we will never achieve optimal health. He also says you have an astonishing capacity for regeneration. By activating your body's regenerative power, you can slow and even reverse the aging process. Well, how is this possible? Let's find out. The answer is to build a new body daily. On this slide, we're just going to look at the metabolism of aging and two very, very critical and simple facts. You see, every human on the planet who is alive right now is somewhere in the spectrum of the aging process. Think about it. We all have this in common. We're somewhere within the aging process. So let's look at two of the facts. Number one, your body replaces a minimum of 300 billion cells every day. Today, scientists speculate it could even be a trillion or more, replaced daily. Think about this. While you've been listening to this webinar, your body has been busy replacing over 100 million cells, something we just don't think about. As well, most people think the key to health or to their aging process is all genetic, but guess what? It's not. Only 35% is genetic, and the rest, 65%, is up to you. So I love the seesaw on this slide because it's a wonderful depiction of the different spectrums of the aging process. Number one, let's define youth as the day we're born to about age 30. If you see that high green part of the seesaw, guess what's going on with each of those replacing 300 billion cells every day? They're very high in energy. Each cell has a high energy, a high repair, and a high rebuild. In fact, the signal to each one of those cells sounds like this: repair, rebuild, restore. Well, we've all been in that spectrum of the aging process, but if you've forgotten about it, just look at your children and your grandchildren. How do they feel in this part of the aging process? They feel immortal. You know, they have boundless energy. They're growing like weeds. They repair if they have a broken bone within weeks. And aging, smaging, they never feel it or think about it. But around age 30, biochemically, these forces change in each one of the cells the body's replacing. In fact, the damage side of the seesaw, or the force in each cell, is equal to that of the repair side. So I call this the flatline years. Look at the seesaw where the seesaw is level. That's around age 30. How do 30-year-olds begin to feel this? They say, I can't stay up all night like I used to. You know, I can't study, I can't party like I used to, I'm not recovering from exercise. They're starting to feel this biochemical force of damage and repair are equal. All of this encoded by Mother Nature in the aging process. And then what happens? They're losing that feeling of energy. So, you know, people around that age, and as they get older, they start drinking caffeine like it's water, Monster drinks, Red Bull, energy shots. You know, just damaging their cells more. So from age 30 on, the damaged side of the forces in each one of the replacing cells going up and up and up, what are some more of the results? Well, the decade of their 40s, people are feeling super low energy. They've been drinking this damaging caffeine and no water. You know, they have super high stress. As a result, people in their 50s have even more stress. You know, they're getting on at least 4 little brown bottles in the medicine cabinet for this and that. People in their 60s, over 8 to 10 brown bottles. Why? Mental acuity going away, joint problems, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, joint replacements, diabetes, obesity, you name it. By the time we're an average of 78 years old, Mother Nature kicks us off the planet. You see, these are her rules. She's not nice to us in the aging process because she is all about survival of the fittest and reproduction. So she gives everything to the young, right? But with the damage side of the seesaw getting higher and higher and higher from age 30 on, the worst part is that we spend our critical years of our life not having the optimal performance that we could have. So, wow, what's so unique about the Univera products is they're simplifying the complex cellular needs for the aging human body. How has this kind of science been developed? Once again, with Bill Lee having invested over $5 million a year for the past 17 years, totaling over $100 million to date, which has yielded 195 patents and patents pending in the natural product industry that does not exist. Unigen owns the world's largest medicinal plant library, which yields over 18,000 plants and 300,000 plant fractions using full-scale proton NMR capabilities, housing 2 genomic laboratories. Unigen's science proves the human body can repair itself, push up on the repair side, and down on damage using Univera's unique product line regardless of age, proven with outsourced double-blind human clinical trials. All of this to introduce you to our products. Extra is a wonderful cell renewal formula because it's all about energy. Energy is the currency of life. We're not talking about an energy where you drink a cup of coffee, which isn't really energy. That's a zoom up and a zoom down. That's not what energy is. Energy is that feeling that you had when you were young, that you're born to about age 30. You will recognize that vital energy on a cell level with Extra. Energy supports mental clarity and focus. What good is a healthy body if, as we age, we lose our brain, which is happening to so many now? Extra also helps manage stress. Did you know that stress is the most cumulative damaging force that each of those cells can endure? Extra promotes joint comfort and flexibility, and very importantly, it's proven to reduce the rate of DNA damage in as little as 14 days. And I know, Frank, you love to talk about the ORAC score and the antioxidants because you and Trudy are really excited about this aspect of Extra, so why don't you share with us that?
Well, I learned, when I got involved with Univera and, the information that most people don't have. And the fact is that the human body, what we get from our diet in the country today is between 12 and 1,500 ORACs. That's how many antioxidants you have that can fight off all the free radical damage being done. And when I saw that Extra had 4,500 in just 1 ounce, I mean, that was incredible. My wife and I take 3 ounces a day. We'll take 2 of the larger bottle you see there. That's the concentrate. And then that little mini bottle is what it takes. It's equivalent to 1 ounce. But how many times have you heard you need to have, 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day? I mean, that's, most people never do that. Let's be honest. But just 1 ounce of Extra gives you the equivalent of 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. So to me, it just made sense. And if we were able to reduce DNA damage at the same time, and it's already been proven. So this whole thing just made sense to me. The fact that I could now get the nutrition that I felt that my body needed, especially during the aging process. But I don't care what age you are. Extra is a product that everyone should be taking. Younger people, if they're exercising, working out a lot, they need it for recovery. And so the whole product line that they put together with the Metabolic Makeover is absolutely incredible. And just an example here of the ORAC count. You can see where orange juice is, a noni and a acai, and drinks like that have been touted to help people over the years. But when you're only getting 12 to 1,500 from the standard American diet, and you need probably around 3,000 to 4,000 just to break even, the fact is, I know my wife and I are getting closer to 20,000 every day. So we just feel good about what we're doing for our health and our future. And, we're trying to do what everybody's trying to do, and that's be healthy our entire life and enjoy life in the later years. But, Laura, if you could just take a minute now and go over to Metabolic Makeover. These are the 5 synergistic products that Unigen came up with and Univera markets. The fact is that they're all synergistic. They work together to do as much for the human body as you possibly can to make sure you're as healthy as possible. So, Laura, if you could take a minute here and go through those, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, and what we're doing with the metabolic makeover, metabolism is not one thing. So we've addressed in metabolism, we've addressed the energy production, we've addressed mental clarity and focus, help with stress, most cumulative damaging force those 300 billion cells can incur. We've got the antioxidants. But there's more to our entire human body's metabolism. So think of the metabolic makeover as making over your metabolism from one of damage to one of repair. So we have Aloe Select. It is the best aloe in the world. Remember, AloeCore has more science on aloe than anyone in the world. And this particular aloe is 6 times stronger than the plant. And what it's addressing is in our metabolic functions, the GI tract. The gastrointestinal tract happens to be 28 feet, something that a lot of people in North America don't talk about, but the proof that there are huge problems going on with the North American GI tract, which I call fried, are the billions of dollars of over-the-counter medications, much less all of the prescription medications that are sold per year. So we don't have to have that problem with this wonderful Aloe Select. It's soothing to the 28 feet of inside skin. You've got this outside skin on your body, but think of the inside skin, which is your GI tract. Helps increase collagen. It's just, boosting the immune system, which is in our gut. It's just, putting the fire out in the tummy. It's just a wonderful aloe. And any harsh parts of the plant have been removed. You see, Unigen removes any harmful effects of plants and only uses the beneficial ones, which is why they become compounds. Then, with metabolism, when you had that slide up, Frank, talking about the Time Magazine article, the inflammation, the silent killer, the information in that article is amazing. It's all true. As we age, inflammation increases. In that article, they talk about, which came first, disease or inflammation, the chicken or the egg. Scientists just kind of going crazy on the amount of information on inflammation. Why? Because as we age, it becomes higher and higher. Just go back to the seesaw and think of that seesaw as we age, going up, up, up on the damage side. Huge component of that is inflammation. So we have Protectin in Regenifree. This is a 2005 Nutricon Award winner, meaning all the nutraceutical companies in the world that wanted to participate came to the Nutricon convention and submitted their product. Well, Unigen did that and won. Why? Because it's such a powerful, wonderful reducer of this fire that inflammation causes as we age. It's combined with curcumin, and talk about ORAC score. Curcumin has an even higher ORAC score than Extra does. So we really want Regenifree to push down but not squash, with no side effects, this inflammatory process known as aging. Most people don't know by the time they've been feeling achy, breaky joints that same inflammation has been doing damage to their organs, specifically the cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system consists of 50,000 miles in veins and arteries. The number one reason for death in North America today is still heart disease. So we need Rhythmatics to address this part of our metabolic function, which is we need a healthy cardiovascular system. Rhythmatics does the job with a guaranteed dose of resveratrol. I could talk for an hour on that, but we'll save that for another time. We have CoQ10 in there, fish oils, a patented compound called Unibex that helps clarify and tonify the arteries and veins. And then what's another epidemic that we have proof that this metabolic function in humans has gone haywire? Well, there's an epidemic of obesity. Like you said, Frank, even little children are being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes now. This is horrible. And level G addresses that part of our metabolism, our blood sugar issues, blood sugar control, helping the metabolism get off the roller coaster ride of up and down, up and down. I always coach people to take the metabolic makeover in conjunction with a very healthy diet, and I can give to many, many people who go on the metabolic makeover just some real simple tips how to keep their metabolism functioning at a very high level instead of this roller coaster ride that leads to so much weight gain. You know, the proof of diabetes and obesity in North America, you know, demands that people need a metabolic makeover. So, you know, Frank, you know, we have this wonderful guaranteed solution. Why don't you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is the fact that these products have been incredible for my wife and I, but I just want to thank Laura, and what Laura and I have just covered is an overview of Univera's life-changing science and products. There's a lot more to the story. I mean, Univera has, you know, another 30-plus additional products. They're constantly taking this science, adding to the 18,000 plants and the 300,000 plant fractions, and coming up with new products that will help the human body on into the future. But, you know, they have products for skincare and weight loss, and they even have targeted products for, you know, helping the body. And so they'll constantly be adding to that product line for us. But the main thing is Univera, you know, they want you to prove it to yourself. And, you know, like I said back in the beginning, don't just take their word for it. And that's why they offer a no-risk challenge for the first 90 days. You can take all the product you want. It's not just on one product. You can take all you want. And at the end of those 90 days, if you don't see, feel, and measure a difference, you get 100% of your money back for, you know, for just taking the product and, you know, putting them to the test. That's how sure they are of what they have here and the science behind it. The only thing that they require is for you to return, you know, the products and get your money back is that Laura likes to say you have to take the invoices, you have to put them in a box with the empty bottles, throw them in the garage, and at the end of the 90 days, if you don't see a difference, the only thing they ask you to do is the return shipping. They'll pay all the rest for you. So get back to the person who introduced you to this information and choose an entry path, either as a customer or an associate. Ask them, you know, if they can explain to you how you can get a 10% discount for being a customer or receive a 20% discount if you choose to be an associate. We also have a program for associates where they can receive free products, and they can even earn enough money that'll pay for their products with these life-changing products that we have. And all they ask you to do in that instance is to actually, you know, just go ahead and share it with somebody else. And why wouldn't you? If you know that you know that you know something that's incredible and can help people, why wouldn't you share it? But take them up on the 90-day challenge. There's nothing to lose. In fact, there's two things they say. Either you're going to get all your money back or you're going to get your life back. But just realize that choose an entry path, get back to that person, have them explain to you, you know, how you can get involved. And, you know, hopefully you'll realize that this is one of the biggest scientific breakthroughs of our lifetime. It absolutely can be life-changing for not only you, but for those you care about. And you have absolutely nothing to lose. And hopefully, you know, we'll see that you're involved and you're changing your life and those of others. And Laura, I'd just like to thank you for all your participation, and hopefully, you know, we'll see these people in the near future.
My pleasure. Thank you.